Your manifesting might actually be an invitation to a guest you can't kick out. In the digital age, the image of the witch has undergone a radical makeover. No longer the haggard antagonist of fairy tales, the modern witch is an aesthetic icon, decked in crystals, guided by the universe, and trending under hashtags like #WitchTok. However, as the video "Why Modern Witchcraft is More Dangerous Than You Think" suggests, this aesthetic shift conceals an ancient spiritual peril. From the perspective of Catholic doctrine and sacred scripture, what is marketed as self-empowerment is in reality a dangerous surrender of human agency to forces that are anything but benevolent. The illusion of control. The primary allure of modern witchcraft is the promise of autonomy. In a world that feels increasingly chaotic, the idea that one can manipulate reality through manifestation, spells, or energy work is intoxicating. Yet the Bible is clear: these practices are not harmless hobbies. In Deuteronomy 18:10-12, the warning is stark. Let there not be found among you anyone who practices divination, or is a soothsayer, augur, or sorcerer, for anyone who does these things is an abomination to the Lord. The danger lies in the rejection of God's providence. When we seek to control the future or the will of others through occult means, we are not becoming gods of our own lives. We are placing ourselves outside the protection of the true God. The video correctly identifies that witchcraft often begins with white magic, the intent to heal or help. However, Catholic teaching clarifies that there is no such thing as good magic. All magic, by definition, seeks to bypass God's will to achieve human desires through preternatural means. The open door, a Catholic perspective. The Catholic Church teaches that the spiritual world is inhabited by more than just the divine. There are fallen angels, demons, who are masters of deception. The Catechism of the Catholic Church, CCC 2117, states, "All practices of magic or sorcery, by which one attempts to tame occult powers so as to place them at one's service and have a supernatural power over others, are gravely contrary to the virtue of religion." The danger the video highlights is the legalism of the spiritual realm. By engaging in occult rituals, even ironic or aesthetic ones, an individual gives a form of tacit consent to spirits that do not play by human rules. St. Peter warns in 1 Peter 5:8, "Be sober and vigilant. Your opponent, the devil, is prowling around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour." Modern witchcraft acts as a welcome mat for these entities, often disguised as spirit guides or ancestors. The self as an idol. Modern witchcraft is deeply rooted in secular humanism and narcissism. It centers on the self as the ultimate authority. This echoes the original temptation in the Garden of Eden. You will be like gods, Genesis 3:5. By focusing on my truth and my power, the practitioner becomes their own idol. This creates a spiritual vacuum. When we stop worshiping the Creator, we inevitably begin worshiping the creature or the self. The video points out that this leads to a profound psychological and spiritual fragility. Without the grounding of Christ, the practitioner is tossed about by every vibe or shift in energy, leading to anxiety rather than the peace promised by the gospel. The reality of spiritual warfare. Many viewers might think the video is alarmist, but Catholic tradition has 2,000 years of exorcism and deliverance. Priests who deal with the occult frequently report that the most difficult cases often begin with harmless practices like Ouija boards, tarot cards, or love spells. The Apostle Paul reminds us in Ephesians 6:12, "For our struggle is not with flesh and blood, but with the principalities, with the powers, with the world rulers of this present darkness, with the spirit evils in the heavens." The danger the video highlights is the loss of the soul. Modern witchcraft promises a shortcut to power, but it demands a high price. the slow erosion of one's relationship with Jesus Christ. True power does not come from crystals or moon phases, it comes from the sacraments. In the Eucharist and confession, the believer receives actual grace, the very life of God, which is infinitely more powerful than any spell. The path to true freedom. The video concludes with a sobering thought. We are in a battle for our attention and our spirits. The antidote to the rise of modern witchcraft is not just avoidance, but a radical return to the lordship of Jesus Christ. The Church offers a different path, holiness. While witchcraft seeks to use spiritual power, Christianity seeks to be used by God. One leads to the isolation of the ego, the other leads to the communion of saints. As John 8:32 says, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Freedom is found not in controlling the universe, but in trusting the one who created it. Modern witchcraft is more dangerous than you think because it is a spiritual counterfeit. It offers the glamour, a word historically meaning a literal deceptive spell, of power while leading the soul into a desert of confusion and demonic influence. If you found this spiritual breakdown helpful and want to stay grounded in truth amidst a confusing world, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to join our community.